Hi everybody, I'm here with Helen Dorado Alessi, who is the Executive Director of the Long Beach Latino Civic Association.
That's right.
And we are here to talk first of all and foremost about the crisis in Puerto Rico and how the Civic Association and Helen and her folks are helping to foster the flow of accurate information about what's going on in Puerto Rico. So tell me about, first of all, the need for that.
So I think that the most important piece of that is that the information coming from the island is not as accurate as everybody would love. So you get misinformation or non-information. And so what we're looking to do is make sure that we're getting information from people on the ground. They're not necessarily media people, they're community people. And so Long Beach and Island Park have a population of Puerto Rican families, and so their families on the island have been impacted. And as we have been collecting resources, both money and materials, we have connected with that group who is then shipping all of the materials across to Puerto Rico. And the one thing that people keep asking us is, how do you know when it's going to arrive and who is going to be handling sending it out to the people in need? So we have very carefully had people from Long Beach leaving to go to Puerto Rico, like Pastor Colon of the Cruzada Evangelical Missionary Church. He's there right now visiting his mother. Before he left, he took $1,000 with him that we had collected so that he can buy gift cards from Walmart and give them out to parishioners there in his hometown.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have people going there. I know that goods have been shipped there, and do we have people in the community here? They have family there, or they have people that they know there?
Right. So we have the containers. We have 3 containers on its way to Puerto Rico filled with goods and food and all sorts of things. The people who helped us with those containers are folks who have family in Puerto Rico. So it's Vanessa Cardona, her parents, and her brother, Jose, who are really in charge of those containers, getting them on the ship and sending them to Puerto Rico. They should be arriving on the 19th, which is tomorrow, isn't it? Tomorrow. So Vanessa's dad and uncle have left New York and will be there to meet the containers when they arrive. And then the Tourism Association is going to be the boots on the ground, getting it
to
distribute the goods. Now, what we don't know, for instance, is how do those containers get permission to be opened and sent across the island? Does FEMA have to open it first and make sure that there's no contraband? Or I would imagine there's some sort of a process.
It's almost like a customs kind of
That's
thing.
right.
How does it clear? How is the contents of these containers, how is it vetted and approved so that it can then be distributed?
That's right. And because we don't know that right now, it's even more important to have Mr. Cardona be there to have the experience so that when we do the second shipment, we'll know even more. And we can have that information sent out to other families. I got a call yesterday from one of our members, one of our board members, who said her cousin wants to send a generator and UPS is not delivering because they don't know if the address still has a house in front of it, So we found out that no, that's not true. UPS is delivering. So this is the kind of information we're trying to stay on top of so that people have easy access.
So we're not living on rumors.
That's right, to the truth, right.
Right, so that was actually my next question. What are you hearing in terms of accurate information about the infrastructure there and whatever getting Puerto Rico back on its feet?
Right now, it's status quo.
What does that mean?
Status quo means that things are not moving quick enough. Babies are not being given enough food. People are drinking contaminated water.
I saw that in the paper.
And
Yes.
which is bringing on disease. And people have a choice of either contaminated water or dying of thirst. And so they're making the decision, and people are being told this water is not healthy for you to drink. And can you imagine not being able to drink anything for 3 days? You
can't live that way.
So there are companies that are sending over this anti-contamination kit that will clean the water. So we're looking into that. We're also looking into satellite phones, and we're looking into solar lanterns. Because imagine a lot of people are living in a house that has no roof, no electricity, and no light. I can't even imagine.
They're living outside,
What
really.
is this, almost 4 weeks now like this?
Wow.
So my understanding is that there is not much progress that has been made. There's a lot of infighting between government officials, FEMA, who's being pushed out of the process, who's being brought into the process. So we have some very ambitious reporters who are trying, like from CBS News, who are trying so hard to get us the information that we need. And the only way we can get that is to actually see it with our own eyes.
So do you have access, and has the Civic Association had information come in from people who are actually there using, I don't know, phones, Facebook?
Well, this is why it's so important that Pastor Colon is now there and that Mr. Cardona is there. Those are going to be our eyes and ears. So by probably tomorrow, I will have more information from on the ground. But in the meantime, we're talking to a lot of people who have become, I don't know, guerrilla reporters. They're just ordinary citizens. And so I am placing all of that information on our Facebook page, which is LBLCA, which is Long Beach Latino Civic Association, Puerto Rico Emergency Relief Fund. Okay. And that's the name of the Facebook page where I'm putting all kinds of information on there pretty, not hourly, but at least a couple of times regularly. A day. Yes, very regularly.
Okay, and we'll be posting that so people can see it.
Great, great.
Okay, so are there particular stumbling blocks that you see going forward? You mentioned infighting. Are there, is the problem that the local officials aren't connecting correctly with the federal government, or that FEMA can't get there? And I'm not trying to be political here. I'm just, want to see people be able to eat, drink, have shelter, be safe, have electricity.
Yeah, well, I will be political at this point because I think it's going to require leadership to get this moving, and to see the leadership from the federal government in terms of President Trump going to the island and saying, 1 minute he's saying to people, we can't be in Puerto Rico forever.
Right.
And I cannot tell you how disheartening that is to hear. I can't even tell you, Dave, because this is family.
And Puerto Rico is America.
Puerto Rico is America. Some studies have shown that more than 50% of the American population did not know that Puerto Rico or Puerto Ricans are American citizens. So, if anything, I hope that this at least lets people know.
Right. Sure.
So I think that if from the top, the governor of Puerto Rico, I believe he's sincere when he says he's doing his very best, but we are getting mixed signals. If the governor hasn't asked for certain things, then the federal government doesn't give him those certain things. The FEMA applications. Well, the FEMA applications expect you to answer things on a computer. Obviously, with no electricity, they tell you, here's the telephone number to call.
And there is no electricity.
That's no electricity.
Still.
They're generators.
Right.
And some of them are not holding on too much longer because the hospitals and the assisted living places.
They're for emergency
situations. That's right. So I was watching one report where a mom was saying how she only has another week's worth of baby formula for a 5-month-old.
Wow.
So we're talking about dire situation. And the reason that Long Beach Latino and Long Beach feel so wedded to this are 2 reasons. Number one, we went through Hurricane Sandy.
Right.
We've
been there to some degree.
To some degree, we've been there, although many of us could evacuate to other places, or we stayed in our homes and we knew somebody was going to come to help us. They're losing faith. And when you lose faith, that's where hysteria starts to build. So...
Okay, so on the positive, we will do whatever we can to broadcast the information that you get, firsthand information that you get from Pastor Colon and the other people that are down there or will be getting there within a day or so.
Right.
What can be done here on a local level, either through Long Beach Latino Civic Association or in other ways?
So, first of all, thank you so much to everybody who's been a part of this. This has been, I have renamed Long Beach as the most compassionate city on the planet. A
lot of good people here.
A lot of great people here. And it doesn't, when people stepped up, it was everybody from Long Beach was stepping up, because a lot of us, even if we don't have family there, we visited Puerto Rico. I know that the Scudin family is so very involved with the town called Rincon, and they are doing a tremendous job fundraising for Rincon. We've got the city of Long Beach has taken over as a site for collection of materials, and that's the ice arena. You remember that during
the way
Sandy,
it was,
the way it was
packed with stuff, yeah.
So they're collecting there, and then once they finish collecting, they're going to send it along to be sent over to Puerto Rico with the governor's putting together a group of folks that's sending stuff over.
Okay, so in addition, are there places other than the Facebook page we referenced earlier for people to, what should people be doing, or what should they be donating? What can people do specifically?
So at this point, I think in terms of donations, I think people should start concentrating on things like gift cards and cash. Right now, it gives the greatest amount of flexibility to families.
And send them where?
So what is happening right now is people are sending checks to Long Beach Latino Civic Association, and we are purchasing gift cards from Walmart at $50 levels. And then what we're going to do is connect that through the churches and the one synagogue on the island to be able to then send it to the pastors and the rabbis there to then distribute it to their congregation and to others, because we don't know enough people on the island to be able to do that ourselves.
It's interesting that the religious institutions can serve as points of distribution, that points of communication and ways of, as conduits of help.
Right. So the other way is, if you're interested in giving a donation to an organization that I could recommend that's on the island, is the Puerto Rican Community Foundation, and that's run by Mr. Nelson Colon, who I know personally and have worked with him on many occasions. Wonderful man. And they have raised something like $544,000 so far.
Okay.
But he said he's going to be sending me this week or next week the strategy that they're going to be using. So for instance, they've already hired 2 logistical people to help them figure out, well, where do things need to go and how quickly. So that's pretty much it. We are hosting a gala.
Yes. Well, that's my next question, but before we get to that.
Okay.
People can people bring goods to the ice arena here?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They can bring goods to the ice arena. So let me talk a little bit about that.
Yes. And then we'll get to the gala.
Yeah, we were talking about this before. I don't know what to send. What should I send? I want to give something that will have meaning. Just put yourself in that person's place, and you will know what to send. You are living in very, very hot, moist weather. Mosquitoes. So bug repellent. You are sitting in the dark at 9 o'clock at night with your children around you. What would you want to have? Maybe a transistor radio. Make sure to send the batteries with that. Maybe you could afford to send a generator. That would be awesome. Maybe
And these things all be brought to City Hall
to the ice skating rink,
okay.
to the rec.
The ice arena, yes.
The ice arena.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to be, there's another drop-off point in Hempstead. Círculo de la Hispanidad
Mm-hmm.
has their Evergreen school there. It's called Evergreen on Peninsula Boulevard. And they're collecting, I think this weekend is the last weekend they're collecting. So all of this material across Long Island is going to be brought together and through the governor will be sent over to the island. Once it gets there, I just don't know like how that's being, that
Okay.
part of it is
well, that's
being
the best
handled.
we can do at this point.
That's right.
Okay, great. Tell me about the gala. When is it and where is it?
Okay. So every year, Long Beach Latino hosts a Hispanic Heritage Month Gala, which is from September 15th to October 15th. We always lean towards the very end of October because that way all the other nonprofits have done their galas for Hispanic Heritage Month, and we are the last ones. It's on October 26th, which is a Thursday night. It's at the beautiful and elegant and romantic Bridgeview Yacht Club. Very
Very nice.
upscale, fun event. We are expecting close to 250 people, as we have in the past. It's a night where we get to honor people who have worked very hard in this community to help make it one of the most compassionate places on the planet. We will be honoring Commissioner Tagney for his work with the Hispanic community and the immigrant community. We'll be honoring Mr. and Mrs. Rios, who are from St. Mary's Church, and we'll be honoring Lori Nyloff and Bernard Valentin, who are with the school district. And then we'll be hosting something called the Rising Star Award winners. And those are children from each of the schools. One child from each of the schools comes out and is honored for their being leaders in their class and having good grades. I think it's really important for young people to see that leadership does not, I often say the youth are not the leaders of our future. The youth are the leaders of our present. You start being a leader when you're a little kid, or you can. And so we are working very hard with the school district in leadership development for young people.
That's very cool, and it sounds like a wonderful event. And to the point that you just raised, we will be working with you and with some local kids in the coming days. So stay tuned for more.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and we're so grateful that you have come to us with this opportunity.
Well, we're grateful to be able to participate. So thank you very much for being here, and stay tuned.
All right, take care.
Great.